Hello everyone, it's your girl Jay, Jalen the Alien, the Zodiac Queen, back at it again with another prediction video. We're talking about Mercury retrograde. Get excited, right? The infamous Mercury retrograde, when stuff just goes haywire. Yes, we're going to discuss that today, and we're going to get to the bottom of it, and I'm going to give you some advice what to expect during this Mercury retrograde period. Don't freak out that much, it's not going to be too bad, but I have noticed with this one, it does seem like it's going to be a bit hectic, especially even just observing the shadow period. Literally, like, it's currently the 16th of June. Obviously, Mercury goes retrograde officially on the 18th, and just yesterday, like, I think the whole country, or certain parts of the country, T-Mobile users and like just phone service providers, their phones were not working. Like, they couldn't text, they couldn't send messages, they couldn't call. I was getting my hair done and my hairstylist was freaking out. She was like, oh my god, I cannot call anybody. Mercury retrograde, people. Communication just not working in the way that we want it to, and I have noticed this, and I also want to pay attention to this retrograde because I've noticed that before, it seemed like when Mercury was retrograde, we were dealing with a lot of inner turmoil the last time it was retrograde, and then as soon as it went direct, that's when we had a full moon and in Virgo, and then boom, we have this big virus and it just reaches its peak. So I'm wondering if it's going to be the same thing around this time, but who knows. But like I said, this is going to be our Mercury retrograde in Cancer predictions for your zodiac sign. So make sure you check out your rising sign, because the rising sign is going to be the most accurate when it comes to prediction videos, just based off of how I calculate my predictions. So definitely check out your rising sign, and then next you can check out your sun sign and your moon sign to also get a little extra some hints in there, you feel me, just to see where this is going to happen in your life, and just so you can prepare for it and just be all nice and ready. So yeah. Oh wait, and I also forgot to mention, if you want to book a reading from me, I finally am doing readings now. I do them live and I also do them pre-recorded. So if you want a recorded video, just make sure you select that option on my calendar. All links are in the description box, as well as I just dropped my new course, Awaken Your Inner Goddess, learning how to manifest using our feminine sexuality, using our feminine spiritual energy, our divine femininity. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So definitely check that out in the description box below and use the discount code, girl. You know what I'm saying? It's time to manifest the life that we want, period. But let's jump right into this video starting now. Okay, Aries, so for you guys, Mercury is going to be going retrograde in your 4th house. So, like I said, retrograde periods represent a moment when the planet appears to be moving backwards in the sky. So the energy is not going outward, but it's being expressed within. And especially with this Mercury retrograde being in Cancer, we're going to be all up in our feelings and our emotions. And this is especially potent when it comes to you guys in particular, because Mercury is going retrograde, like I said, in the 4th house. The 4th house of our emotional upbringing, our childhood, our past, okay? The things in our life that make us feel safe and secure, as well as our home, okay? Our house, our living environment, and our family. So when we have a Mercury retrograde happening in the 4th house, this is what it's going to be all about. We're going to be reflecting upon issues from our past, issues from our childhood, issues that have to do with our roots, issues that have to do with our home. We might redecorate our home. We might feel not satisfied with our homely surroundings, and we need to sit here and maybe think like, do I want to live here, or do I want this room to look like this? I want to redecorate this. I want to change this around. You start to really contemplate about your current living situation. You start to contemplate the connection that you have with your family members, and maybe things have been rocky and you decide, okay, I have this rocky situation with my family right now. How can I further solve these issues that I haven't solved with my family before? This usually also does represent the mother as well, or just whatever same-sex parent you have. But yeah, you're really starting to re-evaluate the connection that you have with those solid people in your life, like your mom and people that you really have a strong emotional tie with. These are the things that you're going to be reflecting upon throughout this time during Mercury retrograde in the 4th house. This is not the time to buy a house. This is not the time to sign a contract. This is the time to think about your current home situation and to check in to make sure if you are satisfied or not. And if you find that you are not satisfied with your current living situation, then after Mercury goes direct, it is then time to think about moving. But right now, it's time to just browse and surf the web and look at different places that you want to live. Or if you want to redecorate, think about the different things that you could change around and come up with a game plan. Does your home feel like a sanctuary? If it doesn't make you feel comfortable, then you need to start making your home feel comfortable. If you don't have solid connections with your family members, this is the time to reflect upon those things and see how you can solve those unresolved issues. We're gonna have a tendency to really get into our emotional bag. We're gonna be getting into our bag. We're gonna be getting into our feelings during this time. So like I said, things from the surface, things from our childhood could come up at this time. And with that being said, you wanna handle this with grace. You don't wanna lash out and say things that you don't mean to say, but you want to really take this opportunity with Mercury representing our conscious mind, right? And our ability to think things through, our ability to communicate, our ability to logically process and analyze things. We're gonna be able to do that when it comes to our emotions. So you're gonna be able to process your emotions and to analyze your emotions, and this is going to help you out in the long run, because with that work and throughout this time period, this is how you can get yourself in a better position as soon as this Mercury retrograde goes direct. And after this Mercury retrograde goes direct, if you do the proper inner work, this is when you can feel more secure in life as a whole. And your inner foundation is going to be set up. And like I said, the 4th house is looking at the 10th house. It's opposite to the 10th. So when you have your foundation in order, your root in order, okay, dealing with that root chakra, that's exactly when you can get the career that you want. That's exactly when you can get the money that you want, because the foundation is secure. So go do this inner work, and I guarantee you, you're gonna thank yourself later for it. Okay, so my Taurians, oh yeah, you guys definitely wanna be careful during this Mercury retrograde. Like, take caution, take heed to everything I'm about to tell you right now. Save all your work, okay? Make sure that you are backing up your files. Make sure that before you say something, you think about what you're about to say, and you think about the words that are coming out of your mouth, okay? Because I pulled the Grand Cross card. The Grand Cross is all about this feeling of tension, a lot of tension, and this feeling like you are just getting provoked. And I know with you guys have a tendency to, like, people can dig at you, and you might not necessarily react right away, but then once you get to that point and you get really over it, then you blow up. And this is the time where you definitely can get over it. This is the time where you definitely can have that emotional burst of just like, I'm done, I don't want to deal with this anymore, and you unleash it all. And sometimes that's good, but at this time we're gonna be more prone to say things that we don't necessarily mean, or maybe a part of us means, because let's face it, a lot of us, you know, we say our truth during anger, but also we have to think about the way that we translate our information, right? Because it's not always the things that we say, it's how we say it. So you want to be aware, you want to be wary of tension, because like I said, Mercury retrograde is going retrograde in your 3rd house, the house of communication, the house of your neighbors, the house of your siblings, short distance travels. There could be issues here. There could be some issues here when it comes to the things that we say, the things that we write, and saying the wrong thing, okay? You definitely, like I said, be careful about the things that you say at this time, and the stuff that you text to other people, because I feel like that's what 3rd house energy represents, like texting and like posting things and stuff of that nature. So be careful when it comes to that. You know, really double check. Do I want to say this? Is this what I really mean? You know, this is also kind of inspire some issues when it comes to our, you know, our siblings, or just our cousins, our neighbors, people like that in our lives. We can end up in situations and drama with them. And overall, this could be a period of time where if you're used to talking a lot and just communicating a lot, for some people it's out there, it's going to be a period of time where you feel like drawing back. You don't necessarily feel like being out on the scene. You feel like coming to a place of isolation. Maybe you're not going to be as talkative as usual because you're going to be more in your head. Because 3rd house energy does represent our thoughts and what we think and how we communicate, right? So you're going to be more in your head at this time, which can be a good thing if we use this wisely. If we're not drowning in our thoughts and like drowning out our sorrows by drinking a bunch, then I mean, it's fine. Because sometimes you need to get in tune with your emotions, and this is the perfect energy to do so, because Mercury represents our conscious mind. And when you put Mercury in Cancer, Cancer represents our emotions. So we're going to be able to analyze and really critique and really, really dive into and process our emotions. So you guys, this is going to be really, really, like really, really pungent. Like, you definitely want to take the time, whatever comes up, think it through, analyze it, work through it. You can feel it and you can analyze it at the same time. This is great. You know what I'm saying? So definitely embrace these things and don't like fear them. This is something that's going to be valuable. And I also would suggest, like I said before, Mercury retrograde, you want to save all your files. Third house energy is dealing a lot with communication. So if you're an influencer or whatever the case is, your YouTube videos could crash, your computer could crash, technology could go haywire, because third house is kind of connected to the technology in a way. And like I said, like, you definitely want to just take this time to chill, to relax. You guys, you're going to be really in your head, and you want to make sure, you know, you might be a little bit prone to anxiety at this time with all the thoughts already happening, and with Mercury going retrograde, you're going to just be more introspective than usual. So definitely make sure that we're calm and we're using this as a space and time to create clarity in our lives, and not as a space and time to drown in our thoughts and to suffer and fall into a depression, right? And also, with the third house representing short distance travel, you want to make sure that everything having to do with short distance travel, so going to the store, so you have to use a car, okay, you got to get on the bus or you got to get on a train, wherever the case is, but you want to make sure that is in order. So you want to make sure that you actually brought your keys out to the car, or that you don't lock the keys inside the car, or that the car is working correctly, right? That you actually bought your train ticket, whatever the case is. You just want to make sure when it comes to transportation and getting around and short distance trips, you want to make sure that you really looked over everything. You want to rethink, re-go over things, rewrite things. This is the type of energy that you want to really embrace during this Mercury retrograde period, because like I said, Mercury retrograde is prone for like accidents, things going haywire, travel issues, okay, delays when it comes to your flight, delays when it comes to all these different things. So with third house energy, you definitely want to make sure that you have everything in check when it comes to that. And overall, I also think that this is a time to get introspective with yourself, especially even with your siblings, reconnecting with your siblings, reconnecting with your neighbors and your community. This would be something that you can also get into during this time. But like I said, just make sure you are careful when it comes to that technology, and it is not the time to sign any contracts. This is the time to rethink things that we already started and that we're already doing, and making sure that we're doing it to the best of our ability and re-looking over things and reviewing things. This is the energy that we're being approached with this Mercury retrograde. What's up, Gemini? So Mercury retrograde is happening in your second house, the house of our income, the money that we generate, our financial situation, the things that we own, our values, what we find worthy. With Mercury retrograde going here, Mercury retrograde is all about rethinking, reviewing, revisiting, going back, like things, just rechecking things, making sure we're all good. It's like, okay, pause. Are you feeling good? Oh, well, we're gonna fix it. This is how we're gonna fix it. You're thinking about how to fix your current situations. Financially, this is really gonna be on your mind at this time. You're gonna be really focused on rethinking your financial situation. Are you satisfied with the money that you're generating and the amount of money that you're generating in your life? Comment down below, yes or no. You're gonna be thinking about that. You're gonna be thinking about ways to actually start to fix the situation. So maybe like different opportunities that you can actually take advantage of to bring more wealth into your life. Get that money reading with your girl. I could teach you, I could show you how you can bring some money in your life. Get that birth chart reading down below in the description box. But you're gonna be thinking about different ways to bring more wealth into your life. Okay, different ways that you can save more money. Okay, different ways that you can diversify your income and just welcome in more streams. This is not the time to start the business and to start selling new things necessarily, no. But this is the time to really reflect upon these things and come up with different ways to do so, especially after Mercury goes back to Rex. That's when we implement our new plans and ideas when it comes to our financial situation. This could be the time where random money does come into our lives, or we lose a little bit of money and it goes a little haywire and we're like, yo, what? This person just stole my money, or I just lost my money, or I thought thought this was gonna be this much money, but it turned out being this much, but I didn't deny it because I didn't want to look broke, so I still paid them anyway, but I couldn't really afford that. It's those kind of moments, right? So it's like, just be careful about this. Definitely save some money, you know, save your money. Don't overspend, whatever the case is, because any habits that we don't really like in terms of our financial situation are going to be heavily highlighted at this time. Second house is also our worth. It's our value system, the things that we find worthy. So we're going to be reflecting upon our values and our morals and the things that we find valuable at this time. Do we ourselves feel valuable as people? Do we feel worth it? Do we have a high sense of self-worth? If we do or we don't, this is going to be reflected towards us at this time. Situations could come back into your life to teach you about the current state of your self-worth. If you don't feel self-worth, you don't feel that self-worthy right now, you could like run into a situation at this time where you're tested and somebody tries to test you and say, I'm gonna pay you this amount of money, and you need to sit there and stand up for yourself and know that you should actually be getting paid more, right? Instead of just accepting the bare minimum, you have to have that self-worth that says, I am worth this amount. I am worth more, okay? This is the opportunity to grow your self-worth. Okay, this is the opportunity to reflect upon your self-worth and to make sure that you are looking upon your values, the things within yourself that you value, the things that you value in general on the outside world. What do you value? What do you think is worth your time? What do you think is worth your effort? What do you think is worth your emotional energy? Who is worth your energy? What is it worth? What does this thing cost? These are the questions that you're going to be asking yourself during this Mercury retrograde period. And that is so okay. That is so great. You want to do that. It's going to help you out in the long run. But like I said, not the time to necessarily start selling things, but the time to come up with that game plan and to reflect upon these financial situation and your self-worth situation. And that's on period. Oh, Cancers, you're the star of the show when it comes to this retrograde, okay? Mercury retrograde in Cancer is happening in your first house, the house of yourself, the house of your identity, the house of who you are and where you're going in this life, and just like your goals. These are the questions that you're going to be asking yourself at this period of time. Where am I headed? What am I doing? Do I like this anymore? Do I want to be here? Why do I look like this? You're going to look in the mirror and you're going to be like, I don't know about that. Like, I don't know if I like the person looking back at me. And that's what you want to learn how to love. You want to learn how to love yourself during this period. You want to learn how to love your self-image. Okay, if you don't feel so hot, like how can I improve upon my physical appearance? Maybe I want to get into the gym more. Maybe I want to get a new hairstyle. Maybe I want to start doing my makeup different. I don't know. Whatever the case is, these are the things that you're going to be thinking about during this time. How can I help to improve upon my physical appearance? This is also the type of thing where we're thinking about our overall identity and direction in life. So a lot of us could be feeling a little lost. We could be feeling a little tripped up. Maybe we're saying the wrong things. We feel like we can't really say what we really want to say. There's like miscommunications when it comes to expressing ourselves. We don't know the physical manifestation of our personality is going through a little bit of a revamp right now. So when it comes to expressing ourselves and who we are, we might have a little bit of issues in that department. And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? I got Mercury retrograde within my chart all the time. So I get it. I stumble on my words all the time. I trip up on my sentences all the time. It is okay. But it is the time to just be more introspective about your life, to think more about your feelings and emotions and how you really feel about yourself and about other people as well. It is the time to think about where you want to go. What direction do you want to go in? And are you satisfied with your current life conditions? And if you aren't, this is the time to come up with a game plan. This is the time to come up with some type of strategy or different ways, or just like to explore different things that you're interested in, and to just think about your identity and to see if it currently resonates. Like, as the story that you've been telling yourself all these years, does it actually resonate right now, or does it need to be revamped? These are the questions and things that you want to ask at this time, because you guys are heavily going to be embodying this energy and going through tons of changes, especially with a solar eclipse also happening in your first house. You are changing, your direction in life is changing. There is some type of new beginning that is emerging at this time for you guys during the month of June, and even going into July and for the next couple months. And this could also be a time, since we are looking at the 7th house here, where old partnerships could come back and old people can come back that make us second guess ourselves and who we are, and we kind of get lost in that. But don't get too unsettled. And like I said, there's going to be a tendency to really kind of just speak our truth in our emotions, and like to express our emotions and stuff like that. And sometimes it's not going to be the prettiest, most smooth, harmonious thing, which is sometimes needed. Sometimes you gotta express yourself and you gotta let it all out. But just, you know, be careful, because, you know, this is dealing with like little communication mishaps, because you might say something that you don't necessarily mean, or you might regret later at this time. You're gonna be more inclined to do that. So just keep that in mind. And I think that this Mercury retrograde is not gonna be too bad. What's up, my Leo babes? Okay, so yeah, guys, you know, the Mercury retrograde is happening in the sign just before yours. So this is happening in your 12th house, that preparation zone, diving deep. You know, the 12th house is our subconscious. It is our connection to our spirituality, understanding that we are more than just these physical bodies, and that we are all connected. Literally, we're all made up of the same stuff. So expect this period, you guys are going to be extremely psychic, extremely receptive to your surroundings. You're going to be more inclined to reflect upon those deep emotional traumas. You're going to go dive deep into your spirit and your soul. This is the time of getting downloads. This is the time where your intuition is going to be speaking louder than words, and you're going to be able to consciously be a translator for channeled messages from spirit and the divine. So when you get those random thoughts in your head, or you hear a song that you haven't heard in a while and it starts playing in your head and you're like, oh, let me listen to it, that song probably has a message in the lyrics. Or if you see synchronicities, you keep on seeing the same number sequences or the same just like signs, or you hear the same word over and over again. These are the type of situations that you're going to run into with Mercury retrograde in your 12th house. This is really the time to dive deep and to reflect. And you guys might be feeling a little bit more isolated than usual, because the 12th house does represent isolation, being alone. And through that isolation, we really get to develop our hidden talents. Okay, through isolation, we can tap into our hidden talents, because when we're so focused on like life and everybody, we forget to focus on ourselves. And through that isolation and that calm and that peace, that's when we really discover our gifts. So I feel like a lot of you guys are going to be discovering some hidden gifts that live in your psyche, gifts that come from a past life. Okay, things that you didn't know you were good at until you tap in to them, because you give them a chance to manifest, because now you're paying attention to it. I feel like ancestors are going to be speaking to you guys. I feel like in general, you guys are just going to be more in tune with your spiritual nature, and you guys are really going to be understanding that, yeah, we really are connected as one. The beings from the unseen. The 12th house represents the unseen realms. Things that you cannot physically see, but you can feel with your third eye or with your energy. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you guys are going to be tapped into that. And you're going to be reflecting and being introspective. You guys are going to be like little freaking monks, just meditating outside and just like getting in tune with yourself on that deep level. Okay, this is very 12th house type of things happening when we have a Mercury retrograde here. It is time to go deep. The dreams are going to be vivid, so vivid, and you're going to be able to actually analyze your dreams, because Mercury represents our conscious mind and our ability to analyze and to think things through, and how well we can do that. And with that being in Cancer, those emotional dream-like messages are going to come through, and they're going to be symbolic, and you're going to actually be able to translate your dreams. So pay attention to your dreams at this time, because they're probably going to have hidden meanings just for you. 12th house is the house of secrets. So you guys could really get exposed to some secrets at this time, whether those are secrets that you wanted to know or that you didn't want to know, okay? Just hidden things in general, getting in tune with that life, things that you can't quite see but you can feel. This is what you're going to be experiencing during the Mercury retrograde period. But like I said, anything that you've regretted, anything that you've left behind, anything that you're guilty of or ashamed of, anything that you've just like put down into your unconscious or your subconscious and you weren't even aware that it still was, hidden beliefs that you had about yourself, hidden things that happened to you when you were a kid that were a little shady, past traumas, old things and old patterns that keep on repeating themselves, really karmic situations. These are the things that could come about during this Mercury retrograde period of time, and you want to take these things in, because if you do so, you can actually get to learn some really well needed lessons, and so that are really going to be key to your evolution in this lifetime. What's up, my Virgos? Okay, so Mercury retrograde, we're going to be thinking, rethinking, reflecting, reevaluating things, redoing it all, okay? And Mercury, you guys feel heavy because, I mean, you guys are ruled by Mercury, so, you know, you guys feel this retrograde pretty heavy. It's gonna be in a sign that's like, oh, it's in Cancer, so we're dealing with our emotional selves, we're dealing with like how we nurture ourselves, and we're just dealing with our feelings. We're gonna be feeling in our feelings in general, but we're gonna have the opportunity to actually analyze and process our feelings, because that's what Mercury is all about. So it's actually pretty cool energy, you know what I'm saying? But it can get out of hand because we can be feeling a little messy, and you guys, you definitely can be feeling a little messy or petty when it comes to your friends. When it comes to your friends, the people that you hang out with, or even like your following. Like if you have a following, if you're an influencer, whatever the case is, groups of people in your community, these are the type of things that are going to be really reflected upon during this time, because that's what the 11th house represents. It represents our friends, our group organizations, our community, our fan bases, stuff of that nature. So you could just encounter, you know, certain things that kind of show you like, is this person my friend or are they not? Do I feel comfortable in this friend group? Do I still want to be friends with these people? Have I outgrown these people? This is definitely something you can think about during the Mercury retrograde period. Old friends could come back from the past, right? Old friends could come back from the past, and you can decide if you actually want that person in your life or if you don't. This could also be a time where you just reflect a lot more about your hopes, wishes, and your dreams. If you feel like you're really gaining in life, because that's also what the 11th house represents, our ability to gain wealth, our ability to gain popularity and stuff like that. So we could be reflecting upon those things. Are we satisfied with our life goals and with our dreams? Maybe this is going to be a time where you guys are dreaming about the things that you want to accomplish and your goals and getting inspired. And this could also come from a lack of inspiration. Maybe you don't feel that inspired. Maybe you don't feel like things are possible and you feel like you're disconnected from the people around you or from your friends. You can feel a little bit lonely, but just know this is just an evaluation period, and whoever comes out of this, like, and they're still your friend, these people are meant to be in your life. And if something happens where there's a big miscommunication with one of your friends and it never gets resolved, this could definitely be an indicator that that friend wasn't meant to be in your life in the first place. So you definitely want to keep that in mind, my Virgos. I would just say be aware of gossip, be aware of drama in your friend group, mean girl, mean boy stuff, you know, scandals in the public when it comes to your social media, internet issues, because the 11th house does represent the internet, and like I said, big scandals on the internet could actually happen, or just miscommunications when it comes to how you're being perceived by the groups of people in your life and your community. So definitely just be careful with the things that you post, the things that you say, and make sure that you are understanding correctly what your friends are saying, you're not mishearing them, or whatever the case is. You just want to make sure everything is clear cut when it comes to the groups of people in your life, and when it comes to your goals, your wishes, your dreams, and your aspirations. This could be a time where you start to create the vision board, okay? You start to think about the things that you want and get in tune with your desires, right? You don't go after the things that you want at this time, but you do think about the things that you truly desire and things that really give you inspiration and really motivate you to want to do great things in this life. Okay, my Libras, so this Mercury retrograde is going retrograde in your 10th house, the house of career, accomplishments, our bosses, our authority figures, our relationship with authority in general, our father, and just people like that in our lives, and also our public image and reputation. So here's when things can can get a little bit icky. This is when we can have the opportunity to actually ruin our reputation, because we can say things that we don't necessarily mean, and the public sees it, and the public judges you, and the public hates you. And these things can actually happen, but it doesn't have to always be that dramatic. But we can just say things that we don't necessarily mean that actually have, you know, the ability to somehow tarnish our reputation. And this could be a time where you just reflect upon your career in general. Are you happy at this career? Are you doing the work that you were meant to be doing in this life? Is this your purpose? Is this something that you're proud of? Do you feel proud of yourself and your accomplishments and what you've done in this life? These are going to be the things that you're focused on at this time, and the things that you're thinking about revamping and like redoing. Like, you might redo your public image. I think about the midheaven, I think about like an online persona. I think about what people know you as. Like, it's people that know you but don't actually know you, like your fourth house. They just know what you put out there, right? So you have the opportunity to really think about, how do I put myself out there? And do I actually want to put myself out there like this? Or do I want a different public image? This is the time where you guys are going to be redoing your feeds, okay? This is the time where you're going to be like revamping your freaking YouTube channel. You're like, you know what? I don't want to be represented as this person anymore. I'm going to redo it. I'm going to re-edit this. I don't like this career. I want a new one. Or this could be a time where some of you guys actually move up in your career, maybe lose a career or lose a job, you know, have issues with the boss, issues with the authority figures in your life. Some people even issues with men. Whatever the case is, this could also be things that happen during Mercury retrograde in the 10th house. So just make sure we're just taking the time to reevaluate, think before we speak. Okay, and just think about our public image. What do we want in life? What makes us feel ambitious? What are our goals? These are going to be the things that you're going to be thinking about and evaluating at this time. An old job opportunity could also come back at this time. Old people that you used to work with, okay, running into those type of people could definitely be present here as well. And I mean, if you have been working mad hard and you've been, you know, kind of just like, dang, maybe this is a time where you can put your job on pause for a little bit and take yourself on a vacation and have a break, because you've been working so freaking hard, Libra. Enjoy yourself. And that's okay, because sometimes we need to recharge. And if you don't feel motivated and you're feeling a little bit disconnected from your goals, taking a break and taking a time to woo-saw or go on vacation could definitely be something that could help you out. And I feel like this is how Mercury retrograde is going to express itself in your life, because it's all about rethinking, reflecting, and going within. Okay, going back within. And with this energy also being in Cancer, we almost have this opposition thing. You guys are going to be like, okay, do I want to stay at home or do I want to spend more time at work? And trying to come up with this balance between your home life and your work life, your emotions and the things that you create in work and at your job. This would be a time where a lot of you guys are like, I don't feel like going to work. I want to spend more time at home, or vice versa. Okay? That's just how you're going to be feeling. Just, you know, as long as we're not, you know, drowning in our emotions and we're feeling like failures for too long, then it's going to be a perfect time to just rethink our whole public image. And then once Mercury goes back direct, we can come out with a bang. We feel more clarity when it comes to the things that we want to accomplish, and that is beautiful. Take this time to redo or finish any work that you've already started. This is the time to go to that project and actually finish it at this time. This is the time, if you try to apply to a job or you try to do this thing and it failed in the past, this could be a time where you actually try it again and you might be able to see some results. Who knows? But just take this all into account and really just analyze how it's affecting you, and be more cognizant when it comes to your emotions and how your emotions have something to do with your career of choice and the amount of time that you're putting into your career, your public image, and the way that you show up to the world. Okay, Scorpios, so for you guys, this is going to be a time we're really going to be diving deeply when it comes to our beliefs, our faith, the truth, defining what truth means to us, long distance travel, expansion, and exploring what this world has to offer. This is going to be a time where perhaps you don't know what to believe. You may not know what is true and what is not true. You may not know, and you may not be connected to your own truth, but it's just posing as an opportunity, and it's allowing you guys to be more introspective about your beliefs. This is the time to explore your beliefs, because the beliefs that you have create your reality. The faith that you have in yourself, in the world, and the things that you're a part of create the reality in front of you. So you want to analyze your belief system at this time and make sure that it's strong. Make sure that it's something that resonates with you. This is going to be the time where you guys could be questioning a lot of things. You could be feeling a little bit fickle when it comes to your beliefs. At one moment you could feel like this is true, and at another moment you're like, no, this is true. And that's okay, because this is an exploration period. Instead of going direct, we're rethinking about, we're making sure we're good. So you want to take time and take stock to do so. You could be feeling called to travel to a faraway place or to another city or country, because the 9th house also represents long distance travel, foreign cultures, and foreign places. So somewhere that you've used to be obsessed with, or somewhere that you've already been and traveled to, you could actually start rethinking about that place and feeling this like inner need and desire to travel to that place. And I wouldn't say necessarily do it, maybe if it feels right, but I would say this is the time to book the flight in advance. This is the time to get everything together and make sure that we are looking over all the details in the small print, because we can see issues when it comes to travel and stuff during this time. But think about the places that you want to explore and the different things that you want to try, and the foreign cultures, the foreign places, and really think about, okay, how can I expand my horizons mentally, physically, and emotionally? How can I have faith in the universe? How can I have faith in God? Whatever it is for you. These are the things that you're going to be thinking about. You guys can have profound experiences that get you to think about your beliefs, okay? Something happens and you're just like, wow, what did that all mean? What is my purpose? Like, all of these deeper questions you guys are going to be asking yourself at this time, which is going to be powerful. It's going to be really good. 9th house is also about our ethics, our morals, and the law. So you guys can be really thinking about the rules and regulations that you set up in your life. And do you want these rules and regulations? Or is it something else? What are your ethics? What will you do and what will you not do because of your ethics and what you believe in? Your moral code. These are things that you're going to reflect upon at this time, and these things could be tested with Mercury in Cancer, because we have a tendency to express our emotions like off the handle and off the rails. We could say some things that we might necessarily not want to say. We could do some things that we might not necessarily want to do at this time, and that causes us to question our ethics and our morals. So these are things that you want to keep in mind. Be careful what you say before you say it. Think before you speak. This is something that is going to be key at this time. Like I said, if you are traveling a far distance place, make sure you're reading the fine print. Okay, make sure you printed out your ticket, or yet you got your ticket, there's nothing wrong with it, it's the right date, you booked the hotel, or whatever the case is. Make sure everything is just in order when it comes to that long distance travel, and just know that there could be some delays, because that's what Mercury retrograde is also famous for, bringing delays and stuff of that nature, getting us a little angry. So you want to develop this sense of patience with yourself and with other people at this time, and know that a lot of people are going to be opinionated and expressing themselves, and sometimes we don't have to be so attached to our opinion that we lose our freaking stuff. You guys could feel like people disagreeing with you, whatever the case is, but just know that it's just causing you to dive deeper, and it's happening because it's causing you to dive deeper on your own personal beliefs. Because after this period, your philosophy of life is going to be much stronger than it was before, and that is something that you can hold on to for the rest of your life, because like I said before, your beliefs and your thoughts create your reality. Okay, my Sagittarius babes out there. Okay, so this one is going to be a little intense. Mercury retrograde in the 8th house. The 8th house is the house of transformation, the house of intensity, the house of taboos, our psychology, our psyche. It's about death and rebirth. It's about our sexuality and the things that people are scared to look at and talk about because it freaks them out. So when we have Mercury retrograde happening in the 8th house, this is the time for us to reflect upon a lot of ish, okay? This could be the time where past lovers come back into our lives to teach us certain lessons that we didn't quite get before. And these are having to do with deep intimacy, deep bonds that you shared with other people. Speaking of sharing, we're talking about shared resources. Are you getting the proper amount in your relationships? Are your relationships equal? in that way when it comes to money and material, or just in general? Like, do you feel like the relationship itself is deep enough? Is it giving you enough life? Are you satisfied? Are you fulfilled when it comes to this? Because the 8th house deals with intimacy. Because we can get committed, but what happens after we get committed? We go into the 8th house, which is the real deal. In the 8th house, we have sex. Okay, so thinking about our sexuality and our sexual nature. Do we feel in tune with our sexual energy? Check out my course in the description box, Awaken Your Inner Goddess. We talk about the power of our sexual energy as women, as goddesses. You know what I'm saying? But this is a time where you're going to be rethinking these things. Like, do you feel in tune with your sexuality? Do you feel like you're expressing that from an authentic place, from a deep place, from a spiritual place? Whatever it is that you want to put on it, but is it true to you? Sexual issues would come about at this time that you don't really feel connected to that, or whatever the case is, but this is the time to solve it. This is the time to dive deep into our psyche. This is the time to reflect upon things that you started in the occult world. Maybe you started getting into astrology, but you never like fully delved into it. And you want to go and rethink and revisit astrology. You might revisit magic, revisit spirituality, revisit witchcraft, revisit these things, right? These mystical, occult, esoteric type of things. Hidden knowledge, conspiracy theories, going back into that zone. Because this is what we're dealing with. We think of the 8th house, the house of occult, the house of mysticism. You guys could learn astrology at this period of time and dive deeper when it comes to those things, or have some type of new beginning when it comes to your astrological thing, or like numerology, spirituality, whatever the case is. You're diving deeper, right? You're really reflecting upon it, and you're giving it another go. And you guys could actually get really good at it at this time. This is a time where things could come to an end that need to come to an end, or you're reflecting upon the things that you can actually kill. And no, I don't mean people, humans, or beings of any kind. I don't mean that. But I mean killing off certain habits that are no longer serving you. Cutting people from your life that no longer need to be there. You're reflecting upon these things. Who deserves to be in my life? What habits deserve to be in my life? And if I'm not happy, how can I make myself happy? And you have to sometimes go into the gutter to do that. You guys are going to be, when you speak, you're going to speak with a certain level of intensity. You're not going to be interested in shallow topics. You want to be, at this time, you're going to be interested in going deep and discovering the truth of the matter, and diving deep into your psyche and other people's psyche and other people's, darkness. There's nothing wrong with darkness. And at this point where you could feel a little bit confused, you can feel a little bit lost, you don't know exactly what's going on, just know any event that happens at this time, it's here to transform you. Because 8th house, like I said, is transformation, and that transformation, it's like a butterfly. It starts off in the cocoon all by itself, and you're digging and you're growing, and then you bloom into a beautiful butterfly. And that's what's going to happen exactly after this period, exactly after Mercury goes back direct. You're going to bloom because you did all that deep internal work that needed to be done in order to evolve in this life. Okay, what's up, my Capricorn? So guys, past lovers could be coming back at this time. Past love situations that you could have entered in could come back at this time that really try you. You're like, oh my gosh, how did I end up back in this situation? Old people from the past, exes from the past could come back at this time. Or just like you're reflecting upon different ways that you do relationships, different ways that you do partnerships, because we have Mercury going retrograde in your 7th house, the 7th house of partnership. The 7th house of commitment, of marriage, of relationships and stuff of that nature, contracts, join stuff and that type of thing where you're working with another person. This is what the 7th house represents. So when we have a Mercury retrograde here, we're really thinking about that. How do we commit? How do we approach commitment? What do we need in order to commit to another person? We're reflecting upon how we fit into other people's lives and how other people fit into our lives. It's about thinking about two people, like you and yourself, another person. It's not all about you. It's about you and how you relate to others, how you partner up to others. You're going to be thinking about this a lot at this time. You're going to be reflecting upon old relationships. okay? Old feels, because it's a Cancer retrograde. So we're reflecting upon old feels, old relationships, old things like that, old commitments, and we're gonna be thinking about those things and like, how did it go wrong, or where did it go right? How can I improve upon my current relationship? Thinking about the rules and regulations that are established in your current relationships, and you're just kind of like, do these still make sense? Trust, okay? Do you trust another person? Do you feel like you can trust that person that you're in a relationship with? Or maybe potentially if a partner does come to you in this life, like, it could be definitely a type of thing where you learn a lesson. If a partner comes in and you're like, oh, like, I'm in love, like, I think this is about to be great, and then by the time Mercury retrograde goes direct, maybe that partnership wasn't it. It could be that way sometimes, especially when we still have a Venus retrograde going on. So just keep that in mind. But all in all, I would just say, just focus on how you connect with other people and how you work with others. This is what you're going to be focused on at the period of time, and how you can improve upon that, right? How you can improve upon the way that you connect with other people. Have you been selfish, or have you been too selfless? Putting things back into balance, because we're thinking that this is a Libra house. So we're thinking about harmony. We're thinking about balance. How can we harmonize our relationships? How can we harmonize our partnerships? How can we make things more fair? Commitment, all these things. Definitely don't sign contracts. The 7th house does deal with contracts and signing contracts and stuff like that. Don't want to do that at this time. You want to sign contracts when Mercury goes direct. But if you absolutely must sign a contract, just make sure you read the fine print and you check for errors and, you know, little switcheroos and like finesses and all that type of stuff. Just make sure you're looking at things with a detailed eye. Oh yeah, and this is not the time for commitment, to commit to anyone or anything. This is the time to think about commitment and to reflect upon how you view commitment. But try your best not to get into any relationships or any marriages at this time. It is not the time to do so. Okay, so my Aquarians, my aliens, what's up, babe? Say hello to me in the comments, okay? Say hello to your girl. But okay, Mercury retrograde, it's happening in your 6th house. 6th house is all about our daily routines, okay? It's all about our daily routines. It's about our health. It's about work, our employees, our health, like our small animals, our small pets, whatever the case is. This is what Mercury retrograde is all about. So there's a lot of ways that this can manifest. We can see issues when it comes to our work, okay? Maybe perhaps issues at work, okay? Miscommunications at work. Things getting really emotionally intense at work. Maybe like there's like tension in the workplace, or tension with our employees and with our colleagues and stuff. You know, there could be some type of heated argument that happens because we're going to be really expanding upon our emotions at this time, because Mercury retrograde is happening in Cancer. So there could be some emotional outbursts at work, or just emotional outbursts in general when it comes to like employees, people that you work with, and in that environment, people at the gym, even, because the 6th house does kind of manifest and stuff like that too. So that could be a thing. You guys could be reflecting upon your daily routine and realize that you want to do so many things in your life. However, you don't do anything to actually get it done. You're disorganized, you're all over the place, and you're a little bit lazy. So you could be feeling that way during the retrograde, and you can actually take this time to come up with an actual plan, to actually do something on a daily basis that can actually bring you closer to success, because your success is not in just these big spurts of energy all the time. A lot of the times it's in our daily routine and how much we have to go for what we want on a daily basis. So this is the time where you guys are going to be thinking, maybe you're like, I wake up literally at like 3 p.m. and I know I don't have a job and I know I'm not doing anything with my life, so I wake up at 3 p.m. But maybe I want to wake up at 8 a.m. or 6 a.m. I want to like be a hustler. I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to do something different. I want a night routine. I want a morning routine that I can post on my YouTube channel. Like whatever the case is, you're going to be thinking more about these type of topics and how you can improve upon them in your life, your routines and stuff of that nature, your health. Some of you guys are like, you know, since this is emotional energy, you guys could like eat some meat and you're like, dang, I feel the hurt that this animal just went through. I don't want to eat chicken no more, or I don't want to eat beef no more. Like, you're gonna be thinking like, maybe I want to go vegan, or maybe you just want to change your diet, or your health in general. You want to work out more, you want to eat healthier, you want to drink more water, whatever the case is. These are going to be things that you're thinking about. Like, some of you guys can get sick, you might be feeling more sensitive to things than usual. You might understand here that you could find some type of intuition when it comes to your health. Okay, so if you walk into a room and you suddenly feel sick, or you're experiencing some indigestion, there could be some swallowing of emotions that you're not dealing with, okay? Or you could feel like maybe the people that you're around, they're just not it, and that's why your stomach is hurting. You could notice that type of thing going on as well, some type of intuition when it comes to the way that you connect with your body on that really physical, mundane level. And just overall, just make sure that there's, no miscommunication issues, especially when it comes to our work environment, okay? Because we can definitely get in fights, like I said before, and even with our small pets and animals, okay? Our small pets and animals, checking up in our small pets and animals, making sure that they're good, reestablishing our bonds with our pets, right? Reestablishing our bonds with all of the things that I mentioned, rethinking our routines, rethinking our health, rethinking our connection with our pets, rethinking details and organization, and all things that a lot of freaking Aquariuses just cringe at. I know Aquariuses hate schedules and stuff, but universe is really asking right now for you to think about how can you just make it a little bit better. And this is not necessarily the time to get a new job, to apply for a new job, whatever the case is, unless you've already applied to a job before and you didn't get it. Maybe this is the time to try again and to redo it, to go backwards, right? Or maybe an old job offer comes back, whatever the case is. I would say that this is a good time where you think about the type of work that you actually want to do, the services that you want to give, figuring that out, like what do you want to offer to the public? And then once you figure that out, after Mercury goes back direct, then you implement that and you go for it, and you just go out there and do it. Okay, so Pisces. Okay, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be real fun, especially since we're dealing with the 5th house here. The house of fun, the house of entertainment, the house of kids, the house of enjoyment and just joy and feeling good, romance, okay? Those flings, that sexy energy, sex in general. These are all things that the 5th house represents, and with Mercury being here, these are the things that we're thinking about, and we're taking an internal viewpoint on these different things. So sometimes it can manifest like maybe we don't feel as creative as we usually do because 5th house is connected to our creativity, or maybe we feel like we need to be more creative and we start really thinking of new innovative ways to like really just enhance our creative essence, right? Maybe we've realized that we've been so focused on, we've been stuck at home. We've been stuck in our feelings and emotions, and we're not doing anything about it. Maybe this is the time to really draw and get in tune with our art, and once we do that, we actually explore different ways to express our creativity, new innovative ways, because like I said, that Mercury energy, that Mercury retrograde energy is invention. It's like reinvigorating, it's like re-sparking something deep within us. So this is time to tap deeply into our inner child, to have fun again. Are you having fun? Have you been enjoying your life? If this is the time to have fun, to find new ways to entertain yourself, to have a good time, to party, to do some crazy stuff, and to kind of get lost a little bit. And yeah, it is in Cancer, so there is going to be some emotional tendencies at this time. You know, you could be feeling a little bit blocked emotionally, but the key to getting through this is to express your emotions through art. Express your emotions through art and your feels through art, creativity, dancing, singing, acting, YouTubing, influencing, posting, creating anything. This is what you want to do at this time. Get in tune with your sacral chakra energy. If you know my course and you study my course, you know we talk about all that. We talk all about that sacral chakra energy. Link in the description box. But get in tune with your creative sacral chakra energy, because this is going to help you so much, because for some reason you've been lacking. So the universe is like, nah, we got to take a pause and you got to look at this deeper. Okay, get inspired. Do different things that actually bring joy into your life. And in some circumstances, this could actually be a time where an old flame an old fling, a past lover could actually come back into your life. Maybe not a super deep past lover, but someone that you like talk to or used to talk to could definitely come back into this life to just, you know, spark some things up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And it might not last for that long, or it could, I don't know, but this could definitely be a time where you see past lovers revisiting, because that's what Mercury does. And Mercury retrograde redos things. It brings things from the past. We're moving backwards, you feel me? So this could be a time where people like that could actually come back into your life. People that want to have fun. And, you know, keep that in mind. Don't be super into the whole committed thing right away. I would say just feel it out, have a good time, and if somebody does come in, like, just enjoy it for what it is in the moment. And then if it does last for longer after the retrograde, then that's how you know it's there to stay. But if it doesn't, and that person just is gone, then they weren't meant to be in your life in the first place. But just overall, use this energy as the time to get inspired, get in tune with your talents, your gifts, and your creative self-expression. Even if you feel like it's lacking and you don't feel that creative, you feel a little stuck, this is the time to go dive deep into the issues of why do you feel stuck creatively. Maybe it has something to do with some type of emotional issue that you haven't really dealt with yet, or whatever the case is, or your children even. Like, maybe you feel a little bit disconnected from your children and it's time to actually go back and hang out more with your children, your kids, if you have kids, whatever the case is, but have a little bit more fun and find new innovative ways to have fun at this time. And this is how you can get the most out of your Mercury retrograde experience. And look, I always have a notification. It says I always come up with amazing ideas, and it is 333, honey. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but it says 333. So that could be a number that you guys see. But also, remember, write down your ideas. Literally, I have the notification. I always come up with amazing ideas. Literally, write down all the ideas that you come up with at this time. And you might be surprised, as soon as Mercury goes direct, you can actually act upon those ideas and see some great things manifest from those ideas too. So yeah, I mean, feel it out, get with it, and this is how you can get through Mercury retrograde.